Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inauguration of Windsor's new City Council. I'm thrilled to see so many people here. This is a much better turnout than it was just 4 years ago. You're here to celebrate with us as we embark on our journey, our destination, to keep our great city of Windsor moving forward. The hallmark of our democracy is the ability to share competing visions, to engage in open and frank dialogue, and in the end, to choose who you think will best represent your interests. I want to acknowledge those people who put their names forward as candidates, people who offered to serve our community. I also want to acknowledge and thank our families who are here tonight, all over this place, right here tonight, supporting us. Truly, without your love and support during the campaign and over the next 4 years, this would not be possible. So thank you very much to all the families that are here. Running for municipal office is not easy. And it's not something to be taken lightly, nor is being elected to municipal office. Over the next 48 months, the new members of City Council will come to understand the complexities of governing a city whose annual gross expenditures are nearly $750 million. They will also come to understand the great ability they have to improve the lives of the residents they serve on a daily basis. Ultimately, this is why each of us sought and were elected to our positions, to improve the lives of residents and create a better, stronger city. I would like to recognize my colleagues with whom I have the honor of sharing the stage tonight. Returning Councillors Geniak, Mara, Sleeman, and Kuzmershak, and welcome our new colleagues to the table, Councillors Elliott, Francis, Holt, Borelli, and Bordelon. Together with all of you here tonight in the entire city, the 11 of us will work collaboratively to build on the success that past city councils have created for our community. Today, because of the discipline and actions taken over the past 11 years, we are starting from a position of strength. Our city's financial picture has improved dramatically over the past decade and has positioned us well to move forward. Our debt, which was projected to rise to $370 million, is on its way to $65 million. Our reserves, that is the cash we have in the bank for rainy days, was once non-existent. We are now past $140 million. Some have questioned why we wouldn't use the reserves that we have to pay down the debt, pay down our debt even further. And the answer is simple. We have paid down all the callable debt that we have. That is, any debt that we could repay early, we have. So why does that matter? Well, our bond rating agency, Standard & Poor's, rates our city's financial health so that lenders have a benchmark when evaluating our risk and the corresponding interest rates that they charge the city. The better our rate, the lower the interest charges, and the more money we have to reinvest in our community instead of paying the bank. Today, we have a solid AA rating. Standard & Poor's has acknowledged the strong financial position of our city, but has also cited economic diversification as an area for improvement. This was something the past council worked on extensively and was successful in starting. However, there is more to do. The job is not done. Over the next 4 years, our council will continue to pursue a more diversified economy. We will take advantage and exploit our geographic location, our strategic assets, and our low cost of doing business. We have spent a lot of time and energy. We've made significant investments developing opportunities at Windsor International Airport. We can't back down now, and we can't move away from those opportunities. We must continue to nurture and support those projects and employers that are still growing to maximize their potential for job creation in our community. These are employers like Premier Aviation, who have much more to offer: more jobs, more diversification. We must also focus our attention on the new multimodal cargo hub that is currently under construction right now at the airport. FedEx plays a central role as our anchor tenant, but the potential of this project is far greater than one organization. The University of Windsor will also play a central role in developing this facility as a research center for security and logistics management. Our role will be to continue to seek out relevant players, businesses specifically, who are looking to be a part of the economic development opportunities that exist at this cluster, in turn creating jobs for our city. There is no doubt that job creation is crucial for our community. Like many others in this theater tonight, I want for my family what you want: to be able to support my kids in their academic pursuits so that they too have the possibility of gainful employment right here in the city of Windsor if they so choose. But as important to our city as job creation is, it too is essential to retain the jobs and employers that exist today. Do not overlook and do not undervalue the efforts required to sustain our primary industries. The direct jobs and indirect jobs associated with these industries comprise the backbone of our community. During the campaign, I made a commitment on day one, on today, that I would reach out to both the presidents of Chrysler Canada and Ford of Canada. Earlier today, I did just that. Calls are scheduled later this week with both CEOs, and I want to assure them of our recognition of the importance of both companies to this city and of our commitment to work with both of them to ensure their future success, growth, and investment in the city of Windsor. As your mayor and all of these folks here as your elected voices, we will do all that is required, all that is possible, and all that is necessary to sustain vibrant automotive and manufacturing sectors right here in our community. This includes continuing to create a business-friendly environment that supports our local employers. One of the important elements in that regard, and something completely within our control as a city council, are the property tax rates that we set. As most of you are aware, we have held the line on residential property taxes for the last 6 years. I knew one or two of you would appreciate that. By doing this, we have taken our city from being at 102% of the provincial average to now only 87% of the provincial average. We have also moved our major commercial and industrial categories to rates lower than the provincial averages. This has made our city more competitive and more affordable when compared to other jurisdictions across Ontario. But there is still more that we can do. As part of my commitment to you during the campaign, I promise to deliver another budget that will hold the line on taxes. I have worked with administration to prepare a budget for City Council's consideration in early January that will freeze residential property taxes for 2015, the 7th straight year in a row. No other community in Ontario can claim to have done this. In fact, other jurisdictions are now calling our Treasury Department and our treasurer to ask them for advice on our budgeting process. Now, you and I both know, we know very clearly the budget will tell us what we can't afford, but it won't necessarily keep us from buying it. As leaders of this city, we understand your desire to keep property taxes low while providing services and amenities that other great cities provide. But our approach must be disciplined, strategic, and focused. There must be a balance among interests that is essential to the operations of all great communities. In addition, we need to continue our focus on finding efficiencies at City Hall while looking to enhance our top-line revenue number through increased assessment growth. The combination of these two numbers are essential to our ability to maintain a low tax rate for the foreseeable future. It is doable, it is realistic, and I'm confident in our council's ability to get the job done. There are so many exciting things happening in our city, so many exciting things, and there's potential for many more exciting things to happen. There's an energy right now in our community, a desire to do more, to become stronger. I hear it from people all across the city when they, that they believe we have come a long way. They believe we are on the right track. To keep this momentum going, we will need to prepare a solid plan, the bedrock of which is its financial underpinning. All of my colleagues have ideas and visions for the future of our city, some of which were expressed during the campaign. In addition, we have numerous plans that have been developed over the years that need to be implemented. Many of the recommendations in these plans cannot be accomplished in a 4-year political window, but all of the recommendations in these plans can be mapped out over a longer time frame. We didn't complete these plans to have them sit on a shelf. You expect that we will map out a reasonable timeline to deliver on these items. You also expect that we'll review and analyze the various plans to ensure that they are still relevant for today's needs. Existing plans, new ideas, and a very functional framework. In early 2015, I will be asking City Council and members of the administration to undertake a strategic planning exercise and a visioning exercise with a 20-year time horizon. Benjamin Franklin once said, if you fail the plan, then you plan to fail. And I want my community to succeed. These folks here want our community to succeed. You want our community to succeed. The 20-year vision will provide us with a reasonable picture of where we are headed as a city. For example, we know that our city will be unable to reach the provincial target for waste diversion unless we adopt an organics recycling program. We know the cost of such a program is in the tens of millions of dollars. However, we also know that our landfill will run out of space at some point, and the cost to locate another landfill is astronomical. The implementation of an organics recycling program is not likely to happen in the next 4 years, but there is a series of events that could be put in place to position our community to move in that direction within the decade. Quite simply, if we don't plan for these types of projects, there will always be competing matters that appear to have a higher priority when viewed on a short time horizon. Once we have that larger vision prepared, we'll need to develop a strategic plan that shows you how we'll implement and move forward on those visions. But we're going to do it in 4-year increments. This will allow us to merge the political cycle with the business cycle. And it isn't just about showing you how we'll move forward. You'll also have the chance to provide input, to provide feedback, to provide ideas and advice as part of the process. Some people have said to me, Drew, why are you bothering? Why are you bothering with a 20-year plan when you're only elected for 4 years? Well, there are 2 reasons. First, we have a responsibility to you to ensure our community is delivering on your priorities and expectations. That low-hanging fruit, that's easily accomplished, but it's harder to reach fruit that requires planning. A foundation built piece by piece, year by year, and term by term. Second, in order to position ourselves as a competitive jurisdiction, we have to be better than our competitors, many of whom have prepared these long-term plans and visions for their communities. Calgary completed a 100-year visioning exercise. Vancouver, Washington, a 20-year plan. The city of Edmonton is mapping out a plan to 2040 with strategic plans and goal setting built on a 10-year time horizon. The city of Toronto completed a 10-year livable communities plan. The city of Copenhagen, with arguably some of the best cycling infrastructure in the world, has a 15-year plan to move forward. And our very own sister city of Busan, South Korea, is implementing their 25-year master plan, which includes creation of a 33-kilometer sea reclamation project, among many other things. These are bold, these are visionary, but they're mapped out in realistic timeframes. My challenge to this council is to continue to think big. As we tackle the important day-to-day matters, think of our city on a grand scale, as a place where people choose to live, retirees looking to relocate, professionals, young people, business people, and families. Ask yourself, what motivates these different groups, and how can we build a community that accomplishes 2 goals? To inspire those who live here right now, while creating a city that generates a buzz in those who've had a chance to visit. So much effort has been dedicated to this goal over the past 8 years, but there is more work to do. There is a lot more work to do in this regard. And although some may question the resources allocated to sports tourism initiatives such as Red Bull Air Races or FINA, the International Children's Games, the Ontario Summer Games, make no mistake, these are designed to showcase our community to a broader audience in Ontario, across Canada, and around the world. In addition to creating a sense of community pride, these events are also designed to provide the Windsor-Essex Economic Development Corporation with tools that they can use as they pursue more jobs and investment for our region. They also allow us to leverage our reach to various audiences in a way that we would never otherwise be able to afford. This is good for our region, our city, our economic development team, as well as our team at Tourism Windsor-Essex County and Peavey Island. We will continue to work with TWEPI and WEETC to support their programs, including sports tourism, while working to build a stronger region in which to live. This council and I understand. We understand the importance of a strong region, the importance for planning, the importance for job creation, in sustainability, in transit, and in many other areas. And in that context, I will ask council to support initiatives that incrementally build a stronger Windsor-Essex. Although we are 2 separate entities, city and county, in fact, we are actually 9 separate entities if you factor in each municipality. We will only prosper. We will only prosper as a region when we really start working together in that way. This is not a game. This is not a game of us versus them. but rather us versus the world. A stronger region will better position us to be competitive on a global basis, and we know from most recent events that that's who we're competing against. I look forward to an open, dynamic, and candid working relationship with the next warden of Essex County. In contrast to our regional relationships, it is also important to look more closely at our neighborhoods. Sandwichtown, Walkerville, Erie Street, Ottawa Street, Old Riverside, and Ford City, just to name a few. Their vitality and well-being is paramount to the future success of our city. Residents today are looking for more walkable, livable communities where they don't need a car to go and buy groceries, where they can sustain many elements of their daily living within their own neighborhoods. Walkerville is a prime example of a neighborhood that has blossomed and is growing stronger. Walkerville proper, like Sandwich and Ford City, ceased to legally exist in 1935 when they were amalgamated with the city of Windsor. Yet Walkerville has maintained this very separate and unique identity. As a result of the Ottawa Street Market, organic growth in that area, and business investments by entrepreneurs, as well as an influx of people looking for that livability, Walkerville has grown and continues to do so. Other neighborhoods in our city are eager for similar investments, and with a little help from both the public and private sectors, can be better, stronger, more livable areas than they are today. Areas like Sandwichtown, which was really the birthplace of our city, an area where history flows from every doorstep and street corner, a true gem in the rough that with a little help and a coordinated plan can become something larger than it is today. We are making a strategic investment in the relocation of a new library to the old fire hall in Mill Street, but the municipality can't do it alone. That is why it is so important to acknowledge and support business people like Nicole Sakella, the owner of Rock Bottom, who sees the value, who sees the opportunity in Sandwichtown, and is making a significant business investment to create a microbrewery in the old building on Sandwich Street. This investment was supported by our municipal community improvement plan, which will allow for a partial tax rebate over the next 10 years following the completion of construction. Building neighborhoods, encouraging investment, supporting businesses with no burden to the taxpayer. These types of incentives can play a significant role in redefining neighborhoods and building communities. This includes areas such as our downtown that has so much potential. A downtown is seen as the heartbeat of a city. We know this, which is why investments of over $100 million were made over the past 8 years. Streetscaping on Olette and Palisher to give them a new, fresh look, construction of a festival plaza fitting our premier waterfront, creation of a new aquatic center and water park, encouraging families to the core, purchase of the Art Gallery Windsor building, and regaining control of the Capitol Theater, providing permanent homes for 2 of our important cultural assets. Jane Jacobs, who was one of this century's preeminent authors on planning and city development, once said, "You can't rely on bringing people downtown, you have to put them there." And to that end, we created a strategic partnership with the University of Windsor to transfer the historic Armories building and assist in a plan that will see that building transformed into a new school of music, along with the reconstruction of the former Windsor Star building into a new faculty of social work just across the street from where we are tonight. This partnership will put 1,000 students into the downtown core, but more importantly will act as a catalyst for private sector investment in our downtown. This is a transformational partnership that will create dividends beyond our investment, but there is still more that we can do. I look forward to working with the university's president, Dr. Alvin Wilderman, along with leaders at St. Clair College to continue building strong academic partnerships that leverage resources and help transform our city and our downtown. Strong partnerships are essential. They're essential to successfully running our city. And these partnerships exist in many forms, including those with labor unions that represent many of our employees. Having spent the last 8 years at City Hall and having had an opportunity to work with many of our staff members, I can tell you we have one heck of a team. Tonight, I commit to you and to our employees that I will listen. My door is open. I'm interested in your opinions, your ideas, and your feedback. Together, we will build a stronger city, and that goes for CUPE, the Firefighters Union, the Police Association, ONA, Transit, and Canoe. I understand. I'll put one to sleep in the front row. I understand clearly that friction slows down progress. I also understand that collective bargaining often takes an adversarial tone. Within the next 4 years, every contract with every bargaining unit at the City of Windsor will expire. I want all of our bargaining units to know that as mayor, I will take an active role in ensuring that our negotiated agreements are fair. Fair for our employees, but most importantly, fair to our major shareholders, the taxpayers of the City of Windsor. This will require good leadership on both sides, with a willingness to find creative solutions, and an acceptance that the status quo isn't a starting point, but something that you just saw in the rearview mirror. As a city, we want to support our star performers, develop those with potential to build up our bench strength. We expect a lot from you, but at the same time, we're prepared to support you to be successful. We've seen what a good team can deliver over the past 8 years. That team knows that there is no room for mediocrity. They want what each of us on this stage wants: employees who are engaged in their jobs, and most of all, employees who want to succeed professionally and see our city succeed at the same time. While we strive for positive employee relations, we are often working in a fractured system. As with all municipalities in Ontario, we suffer from a provincial arbitration system that fails to recognize ability to pay, as well as differences among municipalities. Accordingly, we will continue to pursue a provincial remedy that deals with the fractured arbitration system that exists in Ontario today. Moreover, I, along with mayors from across Ontario, will continue to pursue a solution to the problems created by the Police Services Act related to suspended officers. The cost burden for municipalities is large, and there is strong recognition that the system is totally lopsided against the interest of taxpayers. Change must come that balances everyone's interests. I believe that our human resources are a vital asset for our city, but to remain that way, we must also reflect the diversity of our community, the fourth most diverse community in Canada. With that designation often comes challenges in understanding different cultures and accepting that their way may be different from our own. But more importantly comes the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to grow as a community, and to appreciate that our cultural diversity actually makes us stronger as a community. We have an opportunity to better reflect our city's cultural diversity in our own workforce at City Hall, and we will do so over the next 4 years as 450 staff members become eligible for retirement. Our course of action over the next 4 years will be strategic, it will be focused, and it will be deliberate. It will be a business approach to running City Hall. That is what you expect from us, and that is what we will deliver. The bar has been set high, there's no doubt about it, and we, with our own style and approach, we will move it even higher. I look forward to collaborating with you, engaging with you, hearing your ideas and visions for our city. We could build Windsor alone, and it might be good, but if we build Windsor together, then it will be great. We are a city with a rich history, and recently I purchased Dan Wells and Craig Pearson's new book called From the Vault, and I suggest you buy a copy. It's a series of photographs from our community from the distant past up to 1950. As I flipped through the extensive collection of photos, I was inspired. I was inspired by what I saw in that book, and I was inspired by how far we've come. And when I looked at the faces of Windsorites in those old photos, I could see the passion and energy that they had for our city back then. I could see the smiles and almost hear the laughter of those swimming at the Ford City Bathing Beach. I could see the resolve on the faces of the men striking Ford Motor Company for 99 days in 1945. I could see the sheer determination of those who built the Ambassador Bridge and the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel, engineering marvels of their time. And I saw the desperation on the faces of those struggling through the Great Depression. Each of those pictures, every one of those pictures that's in that book, tells the story of a relative, a friend, or a neighbor. And the stories they tell us today are more legendary than they must have seemed at the time. But each of them has woven a stitch in the fabric of time and our city's history. And because of them, we are who we are today. We stuck together, we helped each other, and we fought for a better future. And when I look back 4 years from now, when future generations look back at the book that will be written about our history some 50 years from now, what do we want them to see? What do we want them to say? I want them to see a city that was bold, one that took calculated risks to make improvements, one that continued the transformation that's been started, and one that inspired those who lived here in a way they never thought possible. I want people to say that Windsor was great back then. I want them to say that we were visionary. I want them to say we were collaborative, cooperative, and responsive to the needs of our city. I want them to chuckle with their friends when they look at the bathing suits worn in Adventure Bay in 2015, much like I did when I saw the bathing suits worn in 1940. And frankly, I don't care. I don't care if they remember my name, if they know who I was or anything about me, only that they know in passing terms that I and the team behind me had the backs of their parents and grandparents in building a better city, a more robust community where they are better off because of our efforts. Most importantly, I want to leave a community that allows them to build on our success. Together we can do it. It's all possible, and it's all within our control. All we need is the desire and determination to continue to make good things happen in our community. I look forward to the next 4 years. I'm excited, quite frankly, about the next 4 years, because together, all of us, we will build a better Windsor. Thank you very much.